Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I am Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next hour, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes a holy dip at Mahakumbh in Prayagraj, offers prayers at the Holy Sangam confluence. Voting underway for assembly elections in New Delhi across 70 constituencies. 33.3% voter turnout recorded till 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Donald Trump wants US to take over Gaza to develop it. Netanyahu praises Trump's outside-the-box thinking. Hamas says ready for talks with the Trump administration. Sweden's deadliest attack leaves 11 dead at the Örebro school. Prime Minister Kirsten says worst mass shooting in Swedish history. And spiritual leader Aga Khan, renowned for development work around the world, dies at the age of 88 in Lisbon. So up first, we get you all the latest from the Mahakumbh, the largest religious congregation in the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a holy dip at Triveni Sangam in the ongoing Mahakumbh 2025 in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered puja at the Triveni Sangam, the holy confluence of the three rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, on Wednesday morning. In separate posts on social media platform X, the Prime Minister said that the holy dip at the Sangam is a moment of divine connection for him, and like the crores of others who've taken part in it, he was also filled with the spirit of devotion. Further, the Prime Minister said that he prayed that Mother Ganga bless them all with peace, wisdom, good health and harmony.
Om Chandanasya Mahatpunyam Pavitram Papanasano Apadaharate Nityam Lakshmi Tristhati Sarvada Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavasthangato Piva Yah Smarit Sankalpaha Om Gange Chayamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jaleswin Sannidhyo Guru Sadaswaha Vaso Agane Viswarupa Gungsam Yayasvavi Bhavaso Vastrupa Vastram Samarapaya.
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a boat ride from the Arel Ghat to the Triveni Sangam with Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath accompanying him. Mahakumbh 2025 commenced on the posh Purnima on 13th of January and is the world's largest spiritual and cultural gathering, attracting devotees from across the world. The Mahakumbh will continue until the festival of Mahashivratri on February 26th. In line with the commitment to promote and preserve India's spiritual and cultural heritage, the Indian Prime Minister has consistently taken proactive steps to enhance infrastructure facilities at various pilgrimage sites in the country. Meanwhile, till 12 noon on Wednesday, over 55 lakh devotees have taken the holy dip at Mahakumbh, including 10 lakh Kalpavasis. While so far more than 38.29 crore devotees have enjoyed this experience, the huge rush of devotees reinforce the spiritual significance of this timeless tradition called the Mahakumbh. And DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj joins us live from Prayagraj now. Siddharth, was Prime Minister Narendra Modi satisfied with the arrangements made at the Mahakumbh? Siddharth, if you can hear me, was Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he visited the Ghat, Rail Ghat in the morning and took the holy dip, was he satisfied seeing the arrangements in place? Seems like we are having... Siddharth, can you hear me? Seems like we are having problems connecting with Siddharth at the moment, but these are the visuals of the morning, the visuals significant of the cultural heritage of the country, with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking this holy dip at Sangam and offering prayers to the holy river Ganges. It's the largest spiritual gathering in the world, and Prime Minister said that it was a moment of divine connection, like the many crores who've taken the holy dip at the Mahakumbh. Siddharth Bhardwaj is joining us from Prayagraj now. Siddharth, the morning saw significant activity at Prayagraj, but considering the huge rush of devotees, of course, the Prime Minister has kept this visit, Prayagraj visit, short. Tell us, was he satisfied with the arrangements made at the Mahakumbh?
Well, definitely a very good afternoon, first of all, to you from the holy land of Prayagraj, Tanvi, and I am at Triveni Sangam, exactly the place, I can see the place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi took holy dip, in sacred waters of Triveni Sangam, which is the confluence of river Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. And, so far, since the time this mega festival has started, from January 13, around 38 crore people have taken dip in Triveni Sangam, and around 450 to 500 million people are expected to take dip in the Triveni Sangam. As far as the arrangements are concerned, the UP government has left no stone unturned, to make sure that everything goes in a smooth line manner, from deploying 7-layer security to AI integrated CCTV cameras to underwater drone, remember, which is a new technology wherein drones can go up to 100 meters inside water and provide real-time images to make sure that even inside the waters everything remains safe and secure. And apart from that, there is water police personnel and water ambulance, just in case if there is any problem, they can rush to the spot and provide emergency relief, and there are 7 in numbers. So as far as the arrangements and security are concerned, that, like I said, the UP government has made no stone unturned to make sure that this sacred journey of all the devotees and pilgrims who are coming from all walks of life, not just from India but from across the world, remains peaceful, safe and secure. A while back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took holy dip at Triveni Sangam, and he also performed puja there. He was accompanied by the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, and while he was leaving, he was also waving at the people who were standing there at the Ghat, and it was certainly a very divine moment, a very auspicious moment, a very happy moment for all of us. And for a moment it was looking like that everyone stopped and was looking at Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he took the sacred dip at the Triveni Sangam. So all in all, the arrangements are tight and people here are really happy, as far as security is concerned, as far as infrastructure is concerned, and no one is sleeping hungry, and such is the aura and the arrangements here at Mahakumbh. Whosoever is coming is eating thanks to the community kitchens at every corner of the Kumbh Mela premises.
Indeed.
People are really enjoying, and they are actually experiencing the divine
Indeed,
moment
once in
and
a
the grandeur
lifetime
of
opportunity.
Mahakumbh 2025.
Yes, it's once in a lifetime opportunity
Definitely.
for everyone to take this holy dip, and Mahakumbh, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also took this holy dip at the Mahakumbh. Thank you very much, Siddharth, for reporting on the story. All right, moving on to the other big story of the day. Voting is underway for 70 assembly seats in the national capital, New Delhi. 33.31% voting was recorded till 1 p.m. local time. Over 15.5 million voters will cast their votes to seal the fate of 699 candidates in a single phase. The key candidates in the fray are Aam Aadmi Party's national convener Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi Chief Minister Atishi Marlena and Delhi Minister Gopal Rai. BJP's Vijender Gupta, Pravesh Verma, Ramesh Biduri and Kailash Gehlot are in the fray. Congress has fielded Sandeep Dikshit, Haroon Yusuf and Alka Lamba. Voting for the Delhi Assembly elections began at 7 a.m. Indian Standard Time, with several prominent leaders casting their ballots soon after polling commenced. President Draupadi Murmu cast her vote at President's Estate, while Delhi Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena, along with his wife, also exercised their franchise. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar also cast his vote during the early hours. Among the early voters were Union Ministers Dr. S. Jaishankar and Hardeep Singh Puri. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi, Election Commissioner Sukhbir Singh Sandhu and Delhi Police Commissioner Sanjay Arora were also seen casting their vote. Others who turned up early at the polling station included Delhi BJP President Virendra Sachdeva, Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi, Sandeep Dikshit, AAP leader Manish Sisodia. So these elections are high-stake polls for the Aam Aadmi Party, the BJP and the Congress, as the Aam Aadmi Party is hoping to retain its power for the third term, while the BJP is eyeing to regain power after almost 27 years. Congress, which once ruled the state for 15 years, is also hoping for a return. The single-phase voting will continue till 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, while the results will be announced on February the 8th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged voters to participate in this festival of democracy with full enthusiasm and cast their valuable vote. In a tweet, he said, "On this occasion, my special wishes to all the young friends who are going to vote for the first time. Remember, first vote, then refreshment." So he appealed to all the young voters to come out and exercise their right to franchise. DD India's Dibyendu Mondal and Anil Thomas join us now for more on the Delhi elections. Anil Thomas joins us from Nirman Bhavan, and Dibyendu Mondal is stationed at the Lady Irwin College in New Delhi constituency. Coming to you, Anil, first. You're at a VVIP constituency of Nirman Bhavan. Tell us, what have you seen so far?
A mixed bag, if one may say, the way Delhi has voted. It's a midweek day, Wednesday, that's been chosen. And I think people in Delhi are slowly getting into that, rather absorbing, the political fever in Delhi. The campaign ended 2 days back. But then the mood and the sense in which people are coming has been pretty slow. But then it has been steady. Though slow but steady, people have come out to vote here in Nirman Bhavan. If you see this time around, arrangements that have been made, there have been planters that have been given to people who have come out to vote. So you see almost very few planters left here at the station. For people who come out and vote, after they vote, they can take a planter home. This is the new arrangement that's been done. And I think, you see very few planters that are left there. That clearly is an indication on how people have responded well in this particular election booth that we are there in Nirman Bhavan. Close to 1,500 voters here. But the election fever here has been slow, but very steady. We've seen big faces come here to vote. The Chief Justice of India was here a short while ago. You had senior leaders from the Congress coming here to vote. You had the BJP a candidate from this particular seat, Parvesh Verma, here to vote. So you had big names coming here. But all in all, if you see, the progress has been slow. The vote percentage has not seen a very quantum jump, but it has been steady, and we could see at least a rise in numbers compared to the Lok Sabha elections or the previous assembly elections. For the simple reason, it's the middle of the week, and people don't have an option. Either ways they'll have to stay back here and vote in this election. So a good move by the Election Commission. I think we should see rich dividends that the Election Commission gets purely in terms of numbers.
Okay. Dibyendu, what can you tell us about the enthusiasm of the Delhi voters, including the respective turnout of men and women voters? Also something about the arrangements made for smooth and peaceful polling at the booth you are at.
That till about 1 p.m. the voter turnout has been about 33%, which is not something that the Election Commission or perhaps the people of Delhi can celebrate about. But of course, the voting percentage in Delhi has been pretty low over the last couple of times. But this time around, it is expected that the voting percentage could remain at about 60 to 62%, like what was witnessed in the 2022, I beg your pardon, in the 2020 Delhi Assembly election. But of course, the people are coming out from their houses to vote. We do see, people coming on and off. But of course, in this coveted constituency of New Delhi, where, much of the intellectual voters of Delhi do reside, there is not much long queues that we have witnessed in almost all the polling booths that we have been visiting since morning. Okay. But, we do see people coming on and off. And of course, the Election Commission has taken all measures to ensure a smooth conduction of the poll inside the polling booths, with not just keeping enough security officials, but also for the facilitation of the people that are coming to cast their vote. There are wheelchair facilities that are available. There are facilities for the elderly that are coming to vote with water, or some are even being served with some refreshments in some of the polling booths. And the early voters, what we noticed, was given a sapling in almost all the polling booths that we have visited in the New Delhi constituency this morning.
Okay.
As a thank you gesture from the Election Commission.
Yeah, indeed. Anil, what about the standout constituencies in this election?
Well, the big thing would be the two keenly fought seats, or the two keenly voted seats, will be New Delhi and Kalkaji. For the simple reason, you've got the former Chief Minister, you've got the present Chief Minister of Delhi, both fighting in this seats. And it's a high ticket, winner takes all kind of a seat. If you see all the three parties, they have pitted their best candidates in these two seats. So it could all go down to the wire. If you ask the people on the ground, what does the mood look like? Nobody, I think, I have spoken to close to 20 people on the street, people who came out and voted, none of them had any clue who could be the winner. That's clearly how close this election becomes on these two seats.
A tight
Other than
contest,
that, you've
yes.
got You've got Patparganj, that's an important seat. You've got Okhla, that's an important seat, because Okhla, you've got Amartullah, and the contest pretty clean there. Also, Gopal Rai fighting there from Babarpur is another interesting seat that you could see where elections could go down. And finally, Greater Kailash, the South Delhi seat where Saurabh Bharadwaj fights from. 6 seats that could be very interesting, 6 or 7 seats that could be very interesting. But the two keenly fought seats, or the three keenly fought seats, I would say New Delhi, Kalkaji, something to look forward to, because that would be the elections, that would set the tempo. If either of the two seats, any party that gets the lead, the tempo will be there, and I think you would see the elections very much swinging around these two seats, New Delhi and Kalkaji. The result coming out from those seats would have, a reverberating effect on all the other 68 seats in Delhi.
Okay, still about 4 hours to go for the polling to close. Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen, Anil Thomas and Devendu Mondal. Still a lot can twist and turn in this elections. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Donald Trump says he is in no hurry to talk to Xi about the new tariff war. US Postal Service suspends incoming packages from China and Hong Kong.
This week on Defense Dynamics, India strengthens its firepower. A 10,200 crore boost for Pinaka rockets. What does it mean for battlefield supremacy? From battlefields of Kargil to modern warfare. How India's Grad and Smirch rocket systems pack a punch. China builds a secret war command center 10 times the size of Pentagon. What's the Beijing's endgame? And Pakistan's internal crisis deepens. Political chaos, economic meltdown, and rising insurgency. How does it impact the regional security? Catch it all this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Tanvi Taneja. US President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that he is in no rush to speak with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, despite expectations of a phone call soon in efforts to defuse a new trade war between the world's two largest economies.
No, we'll speak to him at the appropriate time. I'm in no rush. We're going to do very well against China and against everybody else. Right now, they've taken advantage of the Biden administration like I've never seen. I've never seen. The deficit with China is about $1 trillion. Think of it, $1 trillion. They're using our money to build their military. And Biden let that happen.
Donald Trump's trade advisor Peter Navarro, though, hinted that the two leaders will hold talks soon. He said that a call between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump could lead to a reprieve for China, but emphasized that any decisions would be up to the US president. The call between the two is being scheduled as new 10% tariffs on Chinese imports take effect, prompting retaliatory measures from Beijing. It was also clear that the 10% additional tariff will be put on Hong Kong as well as the mainland. China also imposed targeted tariffs on US imports on Tuesday and put several companies, including Google, on notice for possible sanctions. The US is reviewing China's compliance with the Phase 1 trade deal as the outcome of the Trump-Xi call remains uncertain. Meanwhile, the US Postal Service has announced to temporarily suspend accepting inbound parcels from China and Hong Kong posts until further notice. USPS said that the change will not impact the flow of letters and flats from China and Hong Kong. US President Donald Trump delayed 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada for a month in exchange for help fighting drug trafficking and illegal immigration. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum convinced Trump to back down on tariffs. Mexico has begun moving its troops to its northern border as part of a 10,000-member deployment that President Claudia Sheinbaum promised US counterpart of hers, Donald Trump, in exchange for a delay of his tariffs. Mexico's Economy Minister Marcelo Ebrard said that a month is enough to reach an agreement with the US before tariffs take effect.
We are starting a negotiation. Some say a month is not enough. There have been historical processes that have been made in one day, and there are years that nothing happens. This month is more than enough to reach an agreement on these topics.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump on Tuesday signed an executive order withdrawing Washington from a number of United Nations bodies, including Human Rights Council, and setting up a broader review of US funding for the multilateral organization. The executive order said that it withdrew Washington from UNHRC and the main UN relief agency for Palestinians, the UNRWA, and would review involvement in the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. The moves were made in protest against what White House Staff Secretary Will Schroff described as an anti-American bias at the UN agencies. Tuesday's order would appear to end all US participation in the Council's activities, which include reviews of countries' human rights records and specific allegations of rights abuses. The 47 members of the UN Human Rights Council are elected by the General Assembly to 3-year terms, with the United States ending its latest term on December 31st. It currently has an observer status at the body. One person was killed and 5 others injured in a warehouse shooting in Ohio, United States. The warehouse was cleared of all its employees and the shooter was identified by the New Albany police attempting to bring him under custody. Though the motive of the shooting is yet unknown, according to the local police, it seemed to be a targeted attack. The incident occurred in a warehouse of personal care brand KDC-1. The horrors of mass shooting struck an adult education center in the Swedish city of Örebro on Tuesday, leaving several dead, including the gunman. Local police said that the investigation is underway, though no motive behind the horrific incident has been determined yet. More in this report.
A devastating mass shooting occurred at Risbergska School for adults in the Swedish city of Örebro. At least 11 people have been confirmed dead, including the suspected gunman. As the nation is reeling from the shock of the violence, authorities said that the investigation is underway, though police were not aware of a motive yet, but believed the gunman had acted alone.
What we are doing right now involves several parts. Parts of this involves identifying the deceased as well as following up on the conditions of injured. Additionally, there is an extensive investigative effort underway. We still believe that we have the primary perpetrator, although we are not ruling out connections to others. Right now, we feel more confident that no further attacks will take place and the schools that were affected have been evacuated. As I see it, there is no ongoing danger, even though both we and the municipality, of course, have a significant amount of work ahead to discuss what has happened and how to ensure safety.
Calling it a painful day for all of Sweden, Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson spoke of a darkness falling over Sweden. Kristersson also termed the Örebro school shooting as the worst in Swedish history.
It is difficult to take in the magnitude of what has happened today. The darkness that is now falling over Sweden tonight. It is with bottomless sadness that we have received the news from the police that about 10 people have been killed and several have been injured in a school shooting in Örebro. What simply cannot happen has now also happened in Sweden.
Worried relatives are searching hospitals for their unaccounted loved ones who attended the adult school. Whereas an eyewitness of deadly Swedish school shooting recounted the horrors.
A guy next to me was shot in the shoulder. He was bleeding a lot. When I looked behind me, I saw 3 people on the floor bleeding. Everyone was shocked. They said, "Go out, go out." I and my friend tried to save the life of this person. People were very shocked.
Meanwhile, world leaders have extended their condolences to the victims of the mass shooting in Sweden. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen expressed her sympathy and said that in this dark hour we stand with the people of Sweden, whereas Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has offered neighbouring Sweden her country's full support.
I am so sad, and all my thoughts are with the victims and their families and with the entire Swedish community and society. It's a terrible situation, and of course our neighbouring country have all of our support.
Though fatal attacks at schools are rare in Sweden, the country has suffered shootings and bombings linked to gang violence that kill dozens of people each year. Sweden has recorded by far the highest per capita rate of gun violence in the European Union in the recent years. Bureau Report, TD India.
The Aga Khan, the spiritual leader of the Ismaili Muslim community and a renowned global philanthropist, has passed away in Lisbon at the age of 88. The news was confirmed by the Aga Khan Development Network on social media platform X. As the 49th hereditary Imam of 15 million Ismaili Muslims worldwide, the Aga Khan was widely respected for his contribution to development, education and humanitarian efforts. He was also a celebrated figure in horse racing. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Donald Trump shocks the world with plan for the US to take over Gaza. We discuss the U-turn in US policy with our expert. Zelensky says ready for direct talks with Russian president, stresses US and Europe must be present at the talks.
Timeless, boundless and infinite, the essence of faith, the soul of Sanatan culture, from the sacred confluence of Prayag, where divinity descends to earth. Witness the grandeur, the devotion, the magic, world's largest cultural and spiritual gathering, with over 450 million devotees expected to attend. Mahakumbh, India's greatest festival of faith. Exclusively on DD India.
Relook at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes a holy dip at the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj, offers prayers at the Holy Sangam confluence. Voting underway for assembly elections in New Delhi across 70 constituencies. 33.3% voter turnout recorded till 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Donald Trump wants US to take over Gaza to develop it. Netanyahu praises Trump's outside-the-box thinking. Hamas says ready for talks with the Trump administration. Now, just 2 weeks into his second term, US President Donald Trump announced that Washington will be taking a direct role in the Gaza Strip. This follows Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's historic visit to the US as the first foreign leader to meet with Trump during his second term. The two leaders discussed the fragile Gaza ceasefire, strategies to counter Iran, and the prospects of an Israeli-Saudi normalization deal. We have a report.
US President Donald Trump made some bold claims regarding US involvement in Gaza on Wednesday. The president, fresh off his re-election, declared that the United States would take over the Gaza Strip. Trump called the move a long-term ownership of the region and emphasized that it would help stabilize the West Asia. The president added that he believes the US can broker peace in Gaza and is committed to creating lasting security in the area.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Trump and Netanyahu discussed an array of topics, including the potential for peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia. At the same time, President confirmed that he will soon make visits to Gaza, Israel, and Saudi Arabia, aiming to solidify these critical partnerships.
With the historic Abraham Accord, something that was really an achievement that was, I think, going to become more and more important because we achieved the most significant Middle East peace agreements in half a century, but the Abraham Accords in particular, and I really believe that many countries will soon be joining this amazing peace and economic development transaction. It really is a big economic development transaction. I think we're going to have a lot of people signing up very quickly. Unfortunately, for 4 years, nobody signed up. Nobody did anything for 4 years except in the negative.
Netanyahu expressed confidence that such a peace deal is not only achievable but within reach, citing his recent agreements with several Arab nations under the Abraham Accords.
I think peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia is not only feasible, I think it's going to happen. I think if we had another half a year in your first term, it would have already happened.
True. Many more, I agree, many more nations.
I think you can't prejudge and pre-guess how we'll achieve it, but I'm committed to achieving it. And I know the president is committed to achieving it, and I think the Saudi leadership is interested to achieve it. So we'll give it a good shot, and I think we'll succeed.
However, the situation remains complex. Trump's proposed solutions to the Gaza crisis will require delicate negotiations. His administration is also expected to announce a position on Israel's sovereignty over the West Bank, a long-standing and contentious issue in the region. Meanwhile, Hamas is prepared to enter talks with the US, signaling a potential thaw in their historically adversarial relationship. And in another bold move, Trump expressed his willingness to reach an agreement with Iran, potentially signaling a shift in US-Iran relations.
They cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. I'm not putting restrictions. They cannot have one thing. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if I think that they will have a nuclear weapon, despite what I just said, I think that's going to be very unfortunate for them. If, on the other hand, they can convince us that they won't, and I hope they can, it's very easy to do. It's actually very easy to do. I think they're going to have an unbelievable future.
As President Trump sets the stage for future talks, the stakes have never been higher for peace in the West Asia. The coming months will be critical in determining whether his vision of US leadership in Gaza and the broader region can bring lasting stability. In an increasingly unstable region, one thing is clear: the US intends to play a dominant role. Aarti Rana's report with Antrasana for DD India.
And Prabhu Dayal, former senior Indian diplomat, joins us now for more perspective on US's U-turn on Gaza policy. Welcome, sir, to the program. What exactly would a long-term ownership of Gaza by the US, which President Trump has talked about, mean in practical terms?
Well, Tanvi, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. I think that Trump's suggestion that Gaza should be cleaned out and its residents relocated to other countries is both dangerous and unrealistic. This proposal would further exacerbate an already fragile and volatile situation in West Asia. President Trump said that he would like hundreds of thousands of people to move to neighboring countries and said that the destinations could include Egypt and Jordan. Now remember, Jordan already hosts more than 2.7 million Palestinian refugees. And Donald Trump's proposal has been rejected by the US allies in the region and attacked as dangerous, illegal, and unworkable. Jordan and Egypt have both made it clear that they will not take more refugees from Gaza. Inside Gaza, there is little sign that people who have endured over 15 months of fighting want to leave permanently in large numbers. In fact, Palestinian groups are saying that the forced displacement of residents would be a war crime. The Council on American Islamic Relations civil advocacy rights group has said that Trump's suggestion was delusional and dangerous nonsense, and also described it as a proposal for ethnic cleansing. So, Trump's suggestion echoes rhetoric which is often associated with the most extreme elements within Israel's far-right government, including figures like Finance Minister Smotrich, who has long advocated for the displacement of Palestinians from Gaza. Not surprisingly, Trump's comments were welcomed by people like Smotrich, who described the relocation of Palestinians as a great idea and said that he would work with the Prime Minister and Cabinet to create an operational plan for implementation as soon as possible. Now, the reality is that Trump's remarks do not represent a serious effort to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. They are, in fact, a distraction from the real issues at play. For a lasting peace can only be achieved when both Israelis and Palestinians are given the opportunity to live in secure and self-determined states. Any solution, I think, that forces the Palestinians out of Gaza or denies them their rights is not a solution at all.
Okay. Do you see President Trump's statement on Gaza as perhaps a deliberate overstatement meant to put the US and Israel in a stronger bargaining position in any future negotiations regarding Gaza and the West Bank?
You know, it could be interpreted as an attempt to put Israel and, of course, the United States, which is its long-standing ally, in a stronger position. But if the allies of the United States in the Middle East are rejecting this proposal, then I'm afraid it is not going to be workable. Qatar, which had mediated the peace deal between Israel and Hamas, has categorically said that it is not in favor at all of this arrangement to drive out the Palestinians from Gaza. It has rejected Trump's proposal. As I said earlier, Egypt and Jordan, which are the two countries to which Trump wants the Palestinians to move to, they have also rejected his idea. So how does this proposal work out in reality is very, very important. And in my view, the opposition from even key American allies in the Middle East is going to make it virtually impossible for this proposal to be implemented, because the starting point is to move the Palestinians out of Gaza, which I'm afraid is not going to be likely at all.
Okay, what impact, if any, could President Trump's statement on Gaza have on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's political fortunes?
Well, it certainly strengthens Netanyahu's position within Israel, because for a long time there were some differences creeping in between what he was wanting to achieve and what the far-right supporters of his government were wanting. For instance, the finance minister Smotrich. Now, he becomes closer to the position of the far-right, and his position within the establishment becomes more secure. But of course, there are many groups within Israel who are not at all in favor of what the far-right wants. Within the setup within Israel, and his position within the government will be strengthened, and his allies who are from the far right would be happy with whatever President Donald Trump has said.
Yeah, for now it is a shock to the entire world. One will have to see how this deal of Trump's pans out. Thank you very much, Prabhu Dayalji, for joining us on this story and giving us your analysis on it. Moving on, amid President Trump's remarks of taking over Gaza Strip for economic development, residents woke up to aid truck convoys entering into the territory through Rafah crossing. People were seen gathering on streets trying to climb the trucks to get some supplies for themselves. Aid and petrol trucks were seen passing through the rubble as bystanders attempted to climb and raid supplies. Next updates on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. A Ukrainian drone attack overnight sparked a fire at an oil depot in Russia's southern region of Krasnodar that has since been extinguished. The governor of the Krasnodar region, V. Kondrayatev, reported that UAV debris caused a fire in a tank in Novominskaya village, but no injuries occurred. The Russian Defense Ministry also confirmed the destruction of 4 Ukrainian drones, while the Ukrainian military said that Russia launched 104 drones and 2 Iskander-M ballistic missiles at Ukraine overnight. No damage or casualties in Kiev were reported by Ukraine's officials. In another update, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed willingness to negotiate directly with the Russian leader Vladimir Putin if it means ending the nearly 3 years of conflict. In an interview with British journalist Piers Morgan, Zelensky stated that he would engage in talks alongside 4 participants, likely Ukraine, Russia, the EU and the US. Despite this, Putin has rejected direct negotiations. Zelensky insists that NATO membership remains Kiev's best security guarantee. French Prime Minister François Bayrou is expected on Wednesday to survive a no-confidence vote in Parliament, winning some breathing space after less than 2 months in office, but by no means ensuring long-term survival. Bayrou on Monday used a controversial constitutional article to get his cost-cutting budget through Parliament without a vote. But use of this mechanism, Article 49.3, allows the opposition to table a motion of no confidence and a bid to topple the government that was duly proposed by hard left France Unbowed, backed by the Communists and the Greens. While Bayrou is nowhere near having a majority in Parliament, the Socialists and far-right Reassemblement National said that they would not back the no-confidence motion. So France's new Prime Minister François Bayrou will face a no-confidence vote today after pushing through a national budget without a parliament. Joining us with more on the story is DW's Chiponda Chimbelu from Berlin. Chiponda, what can we expect?
Thanks for having me. Well, French Prime Minister François Bayrou faces a vote of confidence because he bypassed the National Assembly to pass the state budget on Monday. And like his predecessor, whose term was short-lived, Bayrou had to do that because the government doesn't have a majority. And now the other parties can censure him with a vote of no confidence. Now, to stay in power, the French PM needs the support of one of the 2 stronger blocs, that is the left-leaning alliance, which includes the socialists and the far left, or the far-right National Rally. Now, expectations are that the far right won't be supporting the vote of no confidence. On Tuesday, the president of the National Rally, Jordan Bardella, hinted that while his party doesn't back the budget, it wants to avoid uncertainty. So French PM François Bayrou may very well survive today's motion of no confidence.
Okay, and how is France's political uncertainty affecting its economy?
Well, rating agencies have downgraded France's credit rating over its political chaos. Now, François Bayrou's government is the 3rd one since President Emmanuel Macron's snap elections last summer. And the country's sovereign borrowing costs have soared to the highest levels since the Eurozone debt crisis. Lowering government spending could help, and that's why this budget is so important. The budget delay has made planning difficult for businesses. It has been unclear whether taxes will rise and if there would be incentives for companies in some sectors. And all of this comes at a time when the French economy is slowing and Europe is facing the prospect of US tariffs. And that doesn't make for a good business climate. And it may put off foreign investors because most of them have been struggling to make sense of the political climate. So the fact that France is likely to adopt a 2025 budget could very well help its economy.
Okay, thank you, Chiponda Chimbelu, joining us from DW Berlin. You're watching DD India News Hour, still to come on the show. Australia banned Chinese AI chatbot DeepSeek from all government devices due to security concerns. The southwestern state of Karnataka leads the medal tally in India's national games. And Copenhagen eliminated by the Light Festival that runs until 23rd February.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Thank you for staying with us on DD India News Hour. I'm Tanvita Neja. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met the President of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Philemon Yang, in New Delhi today. The two leaders discussed various issues on the United Nations agenda, including the need for reformed multilateralism. They also exchanged views on regional, global and developmental issues. Taking to microblogging site X, Jaishankar appreciated Philemon Yang's leadership and guidance at the UN. India's Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav met with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman on Wednesday. Minister Ashwini Vaishnav held an in-depth conversation about the strategy for developing a complete AI stack, including graphics, processing units, models and applications. Vaishnav emphasized that India is concentrating on designing its own chips, creating foundational AI models and developing AI applications.
In education, in agriculture, in weather forecasting, in disaster management, in transportation, multiple different things we are working. And I request the entire startup community to come up with very unique solutions, and we'll be open. We are very soon starting a kind of open competition for it, open empanelment competition kind of thing. So that will be huge. So many problems can be solved, and why don't we use this latest technology that we have for solving these problems, right?
Altman, who is currently visiting India, said that India should be among the leaders of the AI revolution. Nepal Electricity Authority (NEA) has been granted permission to purchase the share of IL and FS Energy Development Company Limited of India, a cross-border power transmission company established for the development of a transmission line from Nepal-India borderline to Muzaffarpur in India. Prithvi Subha Gurung, Government of Nepal spokesperson, Minister for Communications and Information Technology, shared the decisions of the cabinet meeting with the media. In the meeting, it was decided to allow the NEA to buy over 2 million units of promoter shares of IL and FS Energy Development Company Limited. Australia has banned DeepSeek, a Chinese AI chatbot, from all government devices due to security concerns. The decision makes Australia one of the first nations to take direct action against the Chinese artificial intelligence startup, which has rapidly gained global attention. Australia's Home Affairs Department deemed the risk unacceptable and ordered the removal of DeepSeek from all government systems and devices. The Australian ban, advised by security agencies, aims to protect government systems from potential malware and privacy breaches. The ban has received bipartisan support, with some politicians urging the public to consider removing DeepSeek from personal devices. The move adds to existing tensions between China and Australia, which have previously clashed over Huawei and TikTok. DeepSeek has raised concerns globally, with countries like South Korea, Italy, France expressing worries about its data practices. And on to some sporting action now. First, updates from the National Games 2025. Karnataka, this Indian southwestern state, is leading the medal tally with a total of 53 medals, including 28 gold, 12 silver and 13 bronze medals. The Services Sports Control Board continue to maintain the second place, winning 21 gold, 10 silver and 9 bronze medals, bringing their total to 40 medals. Maharashtra stands on the third position with 76 medals, including 16 gold, 33 silver and 27 bronze. However, due to a number of gold medals, they are in the third place. The host state Uttarakhand has secured 3 gold, 11 silver and 12 bronze medals, bringing their total to 26 medals, placing them in the 15th position. The 38th National Games have seen a remarkable performance from athletes all over the country. It will be interesting to watch which state will take the top spot in the coming days. Tamil Nadu's weightlifter Lekha Malya won bronze in the 71 kg category at her first National Games. In an exclusive conversation with DD India's Narayan Singh, Lekha praised the tough competition and exposure provided at these games.
The weightlifting competitions are taking place at Monal Hall in Dehradun in the National Games, and right now I'm joined by Lekha Malya of Tamil Nadu, who won bronze medal. Overall of National Games को किस तरह से देखते हैं? यहाँ अंतर्राष्ट्रीय खिलाड़ी भी आए हैं who played international events, and champions are also there, and the young and rookie players who are playing for the first time, who are playing at the domestic level, they are also playing. So how you look at that opportunity for weightlifters like you?
ये बहुत बड़ा मौका है. हम नेशनल खेले, उसमें से हमें ये चांस मिला है. ये मेरा फर्स्ट नेशनल गेम्स है जिसमें मैंने पार्टिसिपेट किया और मैंने ब्रॉन्ज मेडल भी जीता है. हाँ, बहुत टफ था, बहुत लिफ्टें मिस भी हुआ है, पर बढ़िया किया है. सबके लिए नेशनल गेम्स बहुत बड़ा एक मौका है.
And talking about Uttarakhand, first time the state is hosting the national games, and you saw good infrastructure has been raised here by the government. So, do you enjoy the games here?
हाँ, सब फैसिलिटी सब कुछ अच्छा है. बहुत अच्छा इन्होंने अरेंज किया सब कुछ. हमारा होटल से लेके कंपटीशन स्टेज तक बहुत अच्छा था. हमने बहुत एंजॉय किया.
You have been regularly seen that PM Modi is interacting with the athletes whenever they are going for the big events. He personally tweets for them. Do you have any ambition that PM Modi also tweet for you? Also, you want to meet him?
हाँ, ऐसे तो सबका सपना ही होता है. अभी मैं काश गोल्ड जीते तो पक्का वो मुझे ट्वीट करता और मुझे मौका मिलता उनसे मिलने के लिए. अभी मैं और मेहनत करूंगी. अगला मेरा गोल्ड का ही टारगेट है, तब मिलेंगे पक्का सर.
So the way Lekha performed here, she is saying that next time she will go for the gold, and definitely the kind of platform they are getting here and the determination they have, we are hoping that the future of the Indian sports is bright. With camera person Manmohan, Narayan Singh, DD India, Dehradun.
On to tennis now. Two-time Grand Slam champion Simona Halep announced her retirement from tennis at the age of 33 after a first-round loss at the Transylvania Open in her home country, Romania. The player ended an injury-filled comeback from a doping suspension following her 6-1, 6-1 loss to Lucia Bronzetti in the tournament. It was the first match of the year for Halep, who reached #1 in the WTA rankings for the first time in 2017, but is now 870th and was given a wildcard invitation to play in Romania. Halep was a 3-time runners-up at the Grand Slam tournaments, which includes the Australian Open in 2018, the French Open in 2014 and 2017. And 50 art light installations are brightening up Copenhagen for its annual Light Festival, 3 weeks of celebration that spread through the Danish capital streets. One interactive light installation called Aura translates emotions into colors. The Light Festival has been a staple event in Copenhagen's art and culture since 2018. Over 3 weeks in February, visitors can admire installations by world-renowned artists as well as local and emerging artists free of charge. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live, and you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. If you're watching us in New Delhi, don't forget to cast your vote. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.